This is the IST Health Tip of the Day. I'm your host, Roberto Parker. This podcast, we tackle the tough questions related to exercise, training for athletes, human performance, biochemical, biomechanical dysfunctions, problems that sometimes you have questions about that you don't quite know the answer to. So stay tuned, enjoy, take good notes, and God bless. Hey, you want to lose body fat? I can't believe I'm going to say this. Exercise has a minimal effect on that. I didn't say zero effect, I said minimal effect. You want to put on muscle, long term health, exercise is very important for that. It's crucial for that. If you want to lose body fat, you've got to watch what you put in your mouth, on the fork, on the spoon. In other words, nutritional dietary habits. Now, you combine those two together, exercise and your eating habits, your feeding cycles. Look at it like this, a feeding cycle. You've got to organize your meals in conjunction with your exercise and activity levels. Activity is not the same as exercise. Activity is moving a lot every day, getting out walking, getting out gardening, getting out doing heavy duty industrial type of work, getting out just moving. That's activity. Exercise is more regimented sets, reps, tempo, rest intervals, velocity. That's exercise. You must combine the right type of exercise with the right type of eating plan in order to lean up, put on muscle, and or lose body fat and or long-term health. Those three entities have got to coincide together. And you got to change it up occasionally. You can't do the same thing all the time. You can't just do the same workout all the time. You can't just really eat the same foods every day. You got to change it up a little bit because the body is meant to be shocked, believe it or not. That's how our bodies respond to the type of foods we eat and the types of exercises and activities that we do. All of us have brains, heart, lungs. Men, we have prostates. Women, you have ovaries. It's how our bodies respond and communicate with those tissues. In other words, the brain, the CPU of the body. That will vary from person to person. We are all so different. Years ago, as an early trainer and coach, I believed that as long as you worked out hard, you could eat just about anything you wanted. Then I evolved to say, well, work out hard, but eat the right type of diet. Now, I've evolved even more. We have got to individualize the way we train and the way we eat. There are some of us who can tolerate, I said this the other night in my Health Detective podcast with Chris Whiting. Some people can tolerate a carnivore eating pattern. Some people can tolerate more vegetarian. Some people can tolerate more in the middle. But there's nothing wrong with shifting to the right or left sometimes. Sometimes go a little bit more carnivore, sometimes go a little bit more vegetarian. It's good to do that in order to shock the system. Now, the same applies to exercise. I like, personally, I like heavy duty weightlifting. That's my thing. But sometimes you got to do a little bit more cardio. Sometimes you got to do a little bit more yoga type movements or Pilates type movements. In other words, stretching. Just don't do the same thing all the time. And even throw in some stuff like martial arts or boxing. You've got to train the body physically, three-dimensionally, not just linearly. Going forward and backwards, going side to side, putting in some twisting and turning and bending, some rotational movements. That's important because if you don't do those things, the body will become stagnant in one area, and that's how you become hurt. If you all of a sudden have to twist and bend, pick up something that's kind of heavy, if you're more of a linear based person regarding exercise. Now, let's turn this thing around. Let's marry up our eating patterns with our exercise patterns. If you are a highly active person and you do a lot of strength type training, you can tolerate more protein and carbohydrates. That's right, I said it. Carbohydrates. You have to earn your carbohydrates, however. If you are not a very active person, you do not need as much protein and you do not need nearly as much carbohydrates. In fact, practically almost zero carbohydrates. Fat levels, intake a lot of fat, of course. That's more of kind of the ketogenic philosophy, and I agree with that if you're very inactive. But good quality omega-3 fats. Another factor is your age. Are you preteen, teenager, young adult, older adult, middle age, elderly? Those are component factors in what you should be eating, how much you should eat, and the types of exercises that you're doing, or I should say the intensity of the exercise. Because no matter how old you become, you can still go out and run and do wind sprints and do lifting. But as you start to age and your goals change, you're going to have to adjust the load, how much weight, the rest intervals in between your sets, the speed of movement, duration, frequency, those types of things. So that really will change. Another factor for you ladies, are you premenopause, perimenopause, or are you postmenopause? Those are factors because your estrogen levels will change, ladies. For us guys, it's going to be, are you andropause, meaning are you starting to lose testosterone? Are you getting up there in age, gentlemen? You're starting to lose a little bit of the old testosterone. Maybe getting to the point where you're getting there's less lead in the pencil, so to speak, if you know what I mean here. Okay, so you have to also evaluate those areas of your life. Now, another one would be, are you a sports performance athlete? Are you training to improve your speed, your vertical jump? Okay, those are important factors relative to the type of eating patterns you have. Are you highly motivated? Are you less motivated? That's a factor because if you're not very motivated, if you're only going to work out 1 or 2 times a week and only stick to your eating pattern occasionally, then you're better off really just consuming less carbs, moderate amount of proteins, and a good healthy amount of fats. Now, the last one are your goals. Short-term goals, long-range goals, medium-range goals. Maybe you have a set goal of how much weight you want to lose, how much muscle you want to put on. I should say how much body fat you want to lose, so I'm going to backtrack on that. How much body fat do you want to lose? How much lean tissue do you want to put on? In your short range, medium range, and long range goals. All those are important relative to the types of exercise coinciding with the type of eating patterns that you need. Now, we all go through seasons of life where we change. I was a young 20-year-old athlete 40 plus years ago. Now, I don't train exactly the same I did when I was 25 years old, but I still train like an athlete. Now, some people don't like that. Some people might say, well, I just want to do more yoga. That's fine. If I'm working with that type of person, I'm going to adjust their eating patterns to that. If you're a highly competitive person, you like to work out, you're in martial arts, maybe you want to change it up occasionally, you want to jump back into yoga, Pilates after doing martial arts, or you get back into martial arts again, you go back and forth between the two, you're going to have to adjust your eating patterns relative to the type of activity and exercise levels. One more I forgot to mention, blood type. That's also part of your metabolic type. Another one is your neurological type, which is part of your metabolic type. Are you more sympathetic dominant, meaning are you more fight and flight oriented? Are you more parasympathetic, meaning are you more rest and digest? Those are huge factors. This also involves neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin. Those come into play. So why am I talking about all this? Because I'm going to offer a program in which I will design a nutritional program for you, a daily 2 to 3 meal a day program, 5 to 6, maybe 7 times a week. I will design it for you only if you do a metabolic evaluation with me first and foremost, because otherwise we're just throwing darts at a dartboard blindfolded. I will design a 5 to 7 day a week dietary menu for you. Snacks, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever the case may be. But it's got to coincide with your metabolic type, with your age, andropause for men or pre-andropause for men, menopausal phase for the ladies, your activity level, your goals, your motivation, all of those will come into play. I will not design a program for you unless you do all of the above first, some sort of an evaluation. Now, this program, I'm not going to talk about the price, but I can just tell you, I need to get paid for my time. That's the bottom line. Is it the cheapest program in the world? Probably not. Is it worth it? Yes. So we've got to be very, very detailed about this too. And when you're doing this program, you're going to have to journal what you're eating relative to how you feel. If you're eating a certain type of foods, an hour later, I want you to write down, are you depressed? Are you motivated? Do you feel energetic? Are you sleeping well at night? I need to know all of those things. So this program will involve a lot of work on your part. Trust me. But that's the only way I would do it. Otherwise, it's just cookie cutter, generic, do this diet, do this workout, do this diet, do this workout, do this diet, do this workout, see if it works. That's a BS way of doing it, in my opinion. We want to cut to the chase, get to the granular level of what's going on with your body in terms of where you are right now in the season of your life, putting together a dietary program that will marry up with an activity/exercise program that's going to fit your needs and your lifestyle. That's what I'm going to offer you. So if you're interested in that, contact me. My number's on the screen here. My email's on the screen here, and we can get going on this thing. But like I said, it's going to take a lot of evaluative work on your part. And I will work with you every step of the way. So guys, I hope this talk was informative. I appreciate all you guys listening to me as much as you do. This has been another IST Health Tip of the Day. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.